My name is Zoe Caldwell, Lexis rep. I want to show you how to use Lexis Plus with some quick tips you can get with what you need very easily. The website is plus.lexis.com. Let's take a look at the research system. Below the search bar, you will see a place where you can dive in and explore by content and select the database that you're looking for. I like to come in by state when I need specific state resources. Here's how it works. While I don't tend to use this part of the page because I'll just run a search in the regular search bar when I need to search case law, I do come down for the statutes section to quickly find municipal codes, court rules, and our official code book in California. Below that, you'll have the administrative codes and regulations for the state, like the Attorney General opinions. Below that, you can find other materials beyond case law like jury instructions. And my favorite part of the page are the secondary sources that we have available. Now, you don't need to know what some of the best secondary sources are for the state that you're in, because usually we'll have a section that says top secondary sources, and we've gone ahead and put out the ones that most people use. In California, the book that covers pretty much everything in California law is California Forms of Pleading and Practice. After clicking the California Forms of Pleading and Practice page, you're taken to a very standard screen on Lexis that's used for all of our table of contents. It's really easy to find what you need on this page as soon as you notice a few of the buttons here. I can type a search in the search bar here. I want you to always search the table of contents first. You can see that the terms that I typed in have to be in the title of a chapter. If I know I'm looking for something more obscure that won't be in the title of a chapter, I can search everything in the book. That's all the words on all the pages. And finally, of course, I can always open up these plus signs and dive in manually to get what I need. To the state page, you'll also see practice area pages. You can come on into any of these practice area pages, and they're laid out exactly like the state page, where you can easily get to the secondary materials for that particular practice area. Let's come on up and take a look at a search. I typed in some search terms with nothing in between. I encourage you to use this format to run a quick natural language search. That means your results will come back based on relevancy, but all of your terms won't necessarily be in every result. If I want to, I can add the word "and" in between my terms. This means that all of my terms must be in my result set. I can always quote things as well, and that will stick things together like glue. But be careful because it's very specific to look for exactly what's inside the quotes. If I wanted to expand that out because I didn't know for sure if non-discrimination agreements will be stuck together, I can do something like this and say I want non-discrimination in the same sentence as agreements. That's a /s. Make sure to have spaces around it. We can be more specific about our other connectors as well, and I can say something like this. I want retaliation in the same paragraph /p as sexual harassment, in the same paragraph as non-discrimination, which is in the same paragraph as agreements. Anytime you feel like it's needed, you can always put parentheses around your groups to make sure that things are kept in the order of operations that you need. Let's go ahead and run this search. Search tree here, it shows me the breakdown of how my search terms affected my results. So I can see where some of the problematic areas were, and I can see that it's right here, that's where we really narrowed down the amount of results that we are getting, and I may want to fix something in here. I can use the pencil to go in and fix the search and then rerun it. My content databases are located up top, and below that, I'll see all the ways that I can narrow these search results down. When I'm in case law, some of the popular ways to narrow down are search within results by entering in some extra terms, by court, and by publication status. Another feature that people really like is viewing your case results in Ravel view. I'm here in my regular result view right now, and I can see my cases here, or I can switch over to Ravel view and see them on a map that shows me what the most influential cases are because they're given bigger bubbles. The bigger the bubble, the more influential that case is. Let's go in and take a look at statute. The filters I use to narrow down my statutes are codes and my jurisdiction. Once I'm in my statute, I use my notes and decisions to get down to the annotations for this particular statute. I also like to use the tabs at the top of the screen. Citing decisions will bring me to all the cases and agency decisions that talk about this statute. Other citing sources will bring me to regulations and other secondary sources that cite this statute. Let's take a look at the citing decisions now. Occasionally for big statutes like this one, you'll see that it can't review results until you begin to narrow. So I usually start by narrowing by my jurisdiction and then my publication status. Now I can enter in some search terms and look at all the cases that have my search terms in it that cite my statute. Another great button to remember is this court treatment of subsection button. This allows me to drill down and find cases that cite a particular subsection of my statute. For 2000E subsection B, I can see that there are over 5,000 cites. Coming back to our results screen, let's take a look at secondary materials. I like to narrow to treatises and guides. Occasionally, I'll narrow to jurisdiction as well if I'm in California and I want California treatises. We don't always have treatises for every state, and you can see Hawaii is missing here. So I want to come down in that instance and click non-jurisdictional. This will weed out all of these other state jurisdictional treatises and give me the ones that talk about the law in general, and then I can narrow in by my term and find where my state is listed in the text. One of the best ways to type in my state jurisdiction is to use this little magnifying glass and then the arrows to jump down to find where my term is listed. Another place to look for secondary materials is practical guidance. When you see practical guidance coming up with results, you can immediately jump in and see other practitioners' notes on that particular area of law. Templates that you might need to use to file a form, checklists, and more to help you through a particular task you're working on. There's another way you can get to practical guidance materials, and that's by using the practical guidance button on the side of your screen. This is a great place for practitioners to come when they're working in a particular area of law. All the materials we have for that area of law are listed here. You can pick what you need right from the list of topics and tasks, or run a search in the box above. There's so much more to the practical guidance page than just these areas of law. Some of the tools and resources are off to the right-hand side. Take a moment to check these out and familiarize yourself with the ones that have to do with your area of law that you practice most. My last tip that I use all the time is one to help you make better search queries. I use this connector at least, and you can see it's one word with no spaces. Inside the parentheses are my terms. The number represents how many times I want to see those terms in each result. So I'm asking to see retaliation and sexual harassment at least 4 times each in my document. Please reach out to me for more cool tips like this. I'm happy to schedule a one-on-one with you anytime.